Hello, my beautiful Earth family. Hope you're all absolutely great. What do you need to do right now to get through this year? This year's going to be posing an awful lot of challenges. So, I connected to Arcturians and Lyrans. They're usually the best at hearing you quickly and coming through and answering you, so bear that in mind. Sometimes you might have to wait when you put out the call, then you'll get the, "Hey, what's up, kid?" Okay, if they talk to you like that. So, excuse me. The one thing they've been working with me on is discernment. I will have to give you an example of this. If you hear negatives in your head, as many of you will, you can probably hear them audibly, or you may just pick up on what they're wanting you to feel like, or maybe you're unaware, but you've been going through mood swings. It seems like that group of beings are upping their fight against us. Seems like they're kind of they're scrapping amongst themselves. It's like, quick, push the red button, get them all back into control again. And how they do that is by putting you back into the fear zone, back into anger, wrath, all the lower vibrational energies, getting you back in that place so they can maintain their control over you. So what they're going to be doing to you is putting horrible ideas, paranoid, fear, anxiety, all the usual. So I'll give you an example. I think I told you this last time, in my last video. They will say things like, your son's had a horrible accident. Now, because I listen to my guides all the time, I'll give you an example, right? I refuse to pay excess in one of my bills, right? I'll just say that. I wrote them and said, it's more money than I have coming in. It's ridiculous. I do not even have a contract with you anyway. So I'm not paying that money, right? Put my foot down. I don't agree with what you're doing. I looked at the profits. Your profits are through the roof. Refuse to be paying for your profits. I'll pay what I normally can. Anyway, so, long story short, okay? I had massive anxiety the other day when somebody knocked on my door. Now, I'd been getting pictures in my head of men coming to the door, kicking the door in, and basically putting a smart meter in place of my meters, right? Which they can't do, right? One, I'm in rented property, and the meters are in some kind of unit, so, and there's two, nighttime, daytime, so they can't do that without a lot of damage. So, but I had this absolute fear that they would kick my door in, or even just knock on the door, right? Now, this is where I became a maniac, okay? Because my 6-year-old's here in the house with me. She's sitting in the living room. I'm in the kitchen. The door goes. Wow, the door's gone, right? I said to her, shh, I don't want to answer it. Because it looked like somebody was wearing black with bright yellow, like a workman, right? Panic struck me. Now, before this, I thought about it, I'll just say to them, show me the contract, right? Because I haven't got a contract with these people. I didn't make a contract. I tried to change electricity and gas and everything when I first moved into this home, because they were all with a certain company. I applied to change to a company that was cheaper for everything, right? One of those companies refused to let me change. And I said, I don't want to be with you. I don't want you to be my supplier. I want to be with them. Why not? There's an outstanding bill from the previous tenants. Well, sort that out with the landlord. That's nothing to do with me. I want to be with this other company. You can't make me stay with you. Anyway, turns out they just keep billing me. They refuse to let me move to another company. So I said, show me the contract. So in my mind, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll just ask them to show me the contract. I have none, right? Anyway, I went into major panic. Tell him, shh, to my door, get, run, hide, don't look through I've got a glass window that goes low down, right? And I says, they can maybe see us through the glass. My God, I'm laughing at myself, it's so ridiculous, right? So she thought I meant go and look through the glass. So she's going, no, I'm pulling her back. Don't. They'll see you, you know. And she's like, what's going on with Mum? Mum's scared to answer the door. This is not a good thing to teach your children. I'm not teaching her to live in abundance and happiness and joy when I'm telling her to be scared of who's outside their house, right? Ridiculous. So I got her in the living room. No, stay here. I don't know who it is. It might be somebody wanting money. I mean, my God, right? I'm getting so out of control at this point, okay? That I hear my guides in my head saying very loudly, you need to get a grip of yourself. Okay. I hear it. I'm sorry. I just went absolutely ridiculously anxious. What was that about, right? What was that about? And I thought, I'm never like that. I'm usually very calm-headed. I just deal with it as it happens. I know my rights. I know my rights, okay? I know what needs to be done here. And that is not how you behave. And it's funny because the week leading up to that, my guides have been teaching me things like saying things to me, saying comments to me, you know. And I'm hearing it and I'm saying, no, that's not true. And I'm getting a tick. So they've been making me practice discernment. What is a true feeling and what is one that's been placed on you? And it turns out it was my son's parcel being delivered. God. The guy actually had to come round the back and put it in the shed. If I'd seen that, I probably would have freaked out anyway. So, what a state to get in. These are things we're all going to be experiencing. That you're going to go from nothing to super anxious and act like a bizarre maniac in this blink of an eye. Because we're getting this pressure of energies put on us to make us scared, anxious, the world's not safe, they're coming to get you. And even with all the stuff that's happened the last few years, I would have these little moments of worry, right? What if they do something to my daughter in school? What if they force something on her? What if they do this? What if they do that? And my guide's like, they cannot do anything. Believe. They can't force anything if you say no. So, with all this going on, even future things, they can't make you do anything. It's got to be a personal choice. It has to be personal choices. They can't go against that. If you say no, there's certain things where people can hold a weapon to your head and say, if you don't do this, you still have the choice to say no, right? No, I'm going to end this life. No, I've decided this earth is not for me. It's far too much control. Just give me the bullet. You know? You can do that, right? It's a personal choice. It might not be a fair one, it might not be great, but you're making a choice. You're also making a choice to comply for the benefit of your family. So everything's always a choice. Might not sound fair, but still it is. Okay, so the next question. So I hope I covered that, okay? Discernment. Be very discerning. You will get lots of anxiety thoughts put into your head. Please take a second and don't do what I did and calm yourself down. Discern what is it? What am I meant to be feeling here? Am I being tricked into feeling anxiety? Because clearly it wasn't a psychic thing I was getting that somebody was coming, right? It was a parcel. No psychic, no calm, let me feel the situation. None of that. Straight to screaming craziness. Anyway, next one. This was interesting when I asked them this. Do higher beings need technology to communicate with you? And what I mean by this is, do my guides fit me with a chip or implant in order to communicate? The answer is no. No, they don't. Do I have to be implanted with chips or implants or anything to talk to people who've passed over when I'm doing psychic readings? No. No, I don't. That's all my pineal gland. That's all my ability. That's what I've worked on, what I've managed to... can't think of the English words for it now. You might be forgetting a lot of your English language or any language you speak because right now we're going through a change and it's stopping us from remembering our own languages. We're moving into light language. Oh, dearie me. How it just goes like that, eh? Technology. I think someone's taken it out of my head. This usually happens when it's a subject that they don't want you mentioning because Mr. Smith's running through your living room now trying to stop you from talking. No, they don't need technology. I don't need technology. I've worked my pineal gland. I've raised my consciousness, I've raised my frequency, I've become in tune with those beings, I've got an energetic connection with them, and there's no need for technology. Beings that have to put a chip or implant into you are not higher beings. They are probably lower dimensional beings that need technology in order to communicate. Think on that one, okay? Many of us have been taken away, like taken out of our bodies and stuff, right? You know, and found ourselves somewhere else. But quite often it's your consciousness that's extracted. You are just your consciousness. You just get out your body and go, right? And they direct you where you're going. It's not some device or machine. Maybe at home my body's on some kind of, pod or bed, and I'm in some kind of stasis while I'm here on earth, I'm working. I can go back and take over that body, not right now because it's in a state, because now otherwise I won't be in that human mind thinking, right now I'm in my etheric body, but I can connect to that body lying in that pod if I so wish. If I wake up, I end this life here, but let's not wake up, I'm not done yet. Okay, so does that mean that only the lower forms of entities need technology? Yes, if you've not raised your consciousness enough to be telepathic, and I can focus on somebody, and I play it with my daughter all the time. We're at a play centre and I'm focused, she doesn't know I'm watching her, and I'm focused on the back of her head. And I'm saying in my head her name, and I'm like showing her my face, and she'll stop and she'll turn around and look every time. She feels me looking at her, she'll stop and she'll have a look around and see who's watching me, and it's me watching her, okay? She's very, very psychic with me, picking up on things I'm thinking. All my children have been like that. I'll think of something and they will mention it. Even something stupid, I'll be thinking, what can we do today? Should we do some art, or maybe I'll take the kids swimming. My youngest at that time would say, are we going swimming today, Mum? Never mentioned anything to them. And it wasn't a regular thing that they would just come up with. So we're all telepathic with each other. Why do they have to use technology? Next one, I'm reading a piece of paper, sorry. What is hell? I've had a lot of questions on this. What is hell? Is hell a place? Because the people read in the Bible and it's a place you go to burning. No, it's not. Okay, let me say this, right? Fourth dimension is a place, right? It's a place like Earth that has frequencies. You are able to create whatever you want in those places, so you will create whatever it is your desire, right? My guide, the first thing he told me that made absolute sense to me about the world is, where your mind is, that's where you'll be. So if I'm in a really horrible, anxious place, like I was with the door going, right, I've put myself into a hell zone, okay? I'm now manifesting and creating the most terrible outcome for myself, right? I'm now locked in this lower vibrational frequency where I'm vulnerable, I'm scared, I'm easily attacked. Anyone can break in my door and come and get me, and silly, right? That's what you'd class as a hell zone. You can be in hell while you're still in your physical body now. Your mind's in hell. You're trapped in a negative thinking cycle, a fear cycle, an anxiety cycle. You need to snap out of that and realise that no matter how I feel, the outcome's going to be the same. So it's better to come into it with a clear, conscious, happy, confident mind. Okay. So if you are in a really, really bad way when you leave, you will continue to be in that really, really bad way. So if you leave very angry, you will still be very angry. Doesn't change. If you leave traumatized, you will still be in trauma. Now the thing about that place is, because you're now creating that situation that you feared over and over and over again, until somebody comes in and says, right, time to go, it's lunchtime, and it gets you out of that. You're just stuck in a loop. You're creating the worst possible outcome for yourself. If you die being scared of a pack of dogs coming for you, then you'll probably create that pack of dogs as soon as you get there, and you'll be running away from a pack of dogs for the rest of existence. If you don't find a way to snap out of it and realise that, why am I running away from a pack of dogs? They could be friendly dogs. And then you change it, then suddenly instantly they will become friendly and on their backs wanting tickled and licking you. And then you're like, oh, I don't know how long it might take some people to realise that they're creating it. But if they don't realise, they're rescued. So, or encouraged to think happiness. Next one, does white sage work? They said it's the intent that makes white sage work. So I was asking, well, all these people white saging all the time, we're getting numerous attacks put on us by interdimensional beings, and our consciousness is being attacked, our bodies are being attacked in different ways. You wake up with scratches. Yesterday I had somebody hang about the house. As soon as I put my daughter to bed, she says, "Mum, there's demons in the hall." I could feel them. I hadn't mentioned anything. So I put her in a bubble, and she likes being in my bubbles. And then I came down the stairs and I could feel them behind me. It was only me and her in the house because the boys were out at the cinema. And I knew, well, my son's flatmate who lives with us was in his room. I could hear his phone when I put my daughter to bed. He was in his room with the phone playing, and I knew he wasn't moving. I know all the floorboards in the house. I know when they're cut. It's quite squeaky in this house, quite creaky. So people come downstairs, you hear it really loud. And I know what floorboards downstairs are creaking. My cat was locked in the kitchen. She weighs like a feather. She's just still really small. She can't creak the floorboards. So I'm sitting in my bed and I'm going through my phone and I'm hearing this creaking in my room. Someone's standing in the room. Okay. I'll just ignore it. Then I think, maybe it's one of my guides want to talk to me. Maybe I should. And I'm like, no, I'm not getting the heart feeling that. I'm not getting a heart feeling. I'm now being encouraged to open up to them. If it's my guides, they'll understand why I'm not talking to them. So I didn't. But I felt them all night. Things were moving, things were shifting, floor creaking. And it got me thinking, I'm looking at my white sage on the unit going, should a white sage? I'm like, does that work, right? Knowing what I know now about energy. I've been working with energy for a long, long time. So what I know now about how energy works, would white sage even work? Is it all just intent? So they answered me, it is, yes, mostly just the intent. And it's a tool for you to visually see the smoke moving, and so your intent is that the energy is being cleansed where you see the smoke. So it's a really good visualization tool, but also you're bringing in earth energy. You're bringing in the earth, which is natural to obviously us, right? So you're bringing that earth energy into your home. Quite often that earth energy is eradicated by Wi-Fi, by technology, by electricity. So you're bringing that earth energy back in, and you need that energy now. So that's why it's good as well. So yes, it works for that reason. What? Are you ready to leave Earth number 6 and move to Earth number 7? So they've said we may only have 10 years maximum until everybody is fully engaged in the new Earth. Everyone that's going. Some people have chosen to continue being in 3D bodies. They still want to learn about suffering or loss or angst, or they still want to learn how to put themselves into the darkest of holes and become out shining. They haven't managed that yet, so they still want to stay and have a really, really tough test about, even in the darkest hours, the darkest hours, where there's possibly 15 feet tsunamis in their garden, and they have to try and get out to the summer house to get their food. Things like that. I'm making a silly reason, right? But there's people who still, I hope that's not mine, because I've got a summer house. I don't want to test myself anymore. Just have that be known, people. I've been tested, I'm happy. Okay, but some people still want to be tested. They're like the champions back home, let's say, right? They're like, no, I'm going to go, give me the hard level. Put me on ultra hard. I want to stay to the end where Earth is turning upside down, and I want to continue to survive. I'm going to win this. The most competitive out of us all are going to stay and deal with whatever comes their way. I bet they're changing their mind now. Yeah, but we all know it's just a game anyway, so. Oh yeah, they asked me to mention turning into faster reality frequency. Okay, so they're saying as Earth's, well, they were particularly talking about Earth's core speeding up. It's speeding up the frequency of Earth. If you can think about Earth, let's think of it as a ball, for no other reason than that's what my hands can make, right? And I don't know the answer to that. I have no idea. I've seen it as a ball from space, but I don't know, right? Anyway, it was a little green ball, not a blue one. So anyway, the Earth's currents go around the Earth like this, okay? So it comes out from the core spinning, comes out, goes underneath and back in again. Now if Earth's core speeding up, then that frequency is going to be higher as in faster vibration, right? We are soaked into that. You've got your Birkeland currents and so that's all going through us. It's affecting our hearts. We're vibrating faster, but as you're going through that increase in vibration, you're going to feel like you're being stretched and pulled. You know those little stretchy men, right? The little rubbery men. Imagine that getting pulled and stretched this way and squashed and then pulled again. You're going to feel a bit like that as the magnetics are affecting your magnetics. It's kind of glitching, like making weird stretchy movements, and it's going to make you feel really insane. The words they said to me was, it will affect your consciousness, it will affect your paranoia, you'll feel very insecure. That was it. People will feel very insecure. Now, they won't understand the insecurity because everything in their life feels stable, but internally, with the energetics, it's going through the mill. So you will feel very vulnerable and insecure. They said the best way to handle this is just to let go. Let go, no fear, don't try and hold on to the reality you used to have, because you've obviously chose to go into the next road, a higher road, and you will go there, even if you're going backwards, screaming, holding on to the grass, right? So the best thing to do is just to relax and go with it. That's it. Relax. And once you've relaxed and thought, oh, well, okay, I feel really bleh, feel really freaking out here, but I'm just going to just go with it. Just accept this weird feeling. So if you start getting really paranoid for no reason, just accept it and just relax. Relax your shoulders, relax your body. Accept it. Because as soon as you do, you will be on higher dimensional thinking. Okay? Your mind, you'll just know stuff. You will just know things that you didn't know you knew. So that's a good one. And I think that's all. I think that's all they wanted me to impart today. Yep. I can't think if I had anything else to add to that from my experiences since I've told you all my shameful stories about my bill. Hey, why should we? Why should we conform to that stupidity? There's absolutely no reason why food and gas and electricity and phone and everything's going up, even eggs. The price of eggs. Eggs have like tripled in price. Yet you speak to the farmers and they're saying it's the big shops that are not accepting their price anymore. They want it for a lot less. They've got tons, there's not a shortage of eggs. They have thousands of eggs. Nobody wants to buy them at that current price. So whether that's the shops themselves, right, are going into liquidation and not telling anybody because they can't afford their utility prices or the delivery drivers or whatnot, so they're having to cut back on how much they spend on food, so therefore they're not ordering the food, but they're saying that they're not able to get the food because it's not there, rather than be criticised. I don't know, but we're going to be having to pay ridiculous amounts of money. Here's my car for that orange. I mean, is that what it's going to be? Do you know? So get thinking about growing your own vegetables. Just potatoes. It's always a great backup to go to your garden and pull a few potatoes. You know, just mash them with butter. That's good. Potatoes are actually a complex carb. They're quite good for you. They're not a normal carb, so even if you're keto, you can eat complex carbs. You can eat potatoes. They don't harm you. Anyway, I'm going to start digressing and being silly. So, I love you all. I hope I made sense. Please write in the comments if I didn't make any sense or I usual people do, come to Higher Dimensional Mind Telegram, ask me there. Or if you feel up to being part of the cosy little group, Cosmic Warriors, please feel free to chat there. They're lovely, lovely people. Okay.